Hello and welcome to the Houston District Photographic Society Summer Challenge 2020. Round 2, the theme is Essence of Summer. Our first round, Creepy Crawlies, was won by Phil Wiseman with a fantastic shot of a spider and fly entitled Mum Says We Can't Be Friends Anymore. Essence of Summer is round 2. Our judge for this round is our chair, Jill Beckett. Jill, over to you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the results for round 2 of the summer challenges. I'm afraid you're stuck with me commenting once again. As ever, my comments are purely my own opinion and they're based on what I see on my PC screen, which may not be the same as you see on yours. So please feel free to disagree and ignore them. Thanks to everyone who's taken part. It's really a strong set. So here comes summer. Anyone for tennis? Looks like I'm not the only club member who missed Wimbledon this year. Yes, there is something very indicative of summer about strawberries and cream and tennis. This is a very well taken photo of an English summer pastime. I think I'm meaning the strawberries and cream here, and on the mandatory tartan rug. A very well composed and exposure has been handled perfectly. It's a strongly saturated image, but then it's full of colourful things. To me, it looks like it's had a vignette applied, and I think that really helps keep the eye within the image. I don't mind the bits of grass on the rug. I don't think I've ever seen a tartan rug without some. A starting image that really does sum up the essence of summer. Well done. Barley and wildflowers. There is something almost tactile about fields of barley. As the plants ripen, they take on a lovely soft feel that I always find appealing. When I'm walking next to a field like this, I can't help running my hands along the tops of them. This image really shows the wonderful gold tones of the barley. I like the viewpoint you've given us, letting us see the whole of the stems in the foreground, and I think the letterbox crop fits perfectly. The wildflowers are similar in tone to the barley, so they don't compete for my attention. However, those in the very near foreground are very blurred, and they are a bit of a distraction. I'd be tempted to letterbox the image even further to take out about a third of the foreground. That would get rid of most of them, while leaving enough of the flowers to offset the barley. A very pleasing shot, even so. Bodies on the beach. Okay, this is definitely a summer essence, though not one I particularly care for. I've never understood the appeal of sunbathing. I'll burn in any case, so it's probably just as well. Lots of people not socially distancing, though I suspect it may not have been taken this year. It's a good, competent shot of a group of people enjoying the sun. Well taken and generally well exposed. Again, the letterbox format, works well. The blue parasol is a good point for the eye to rest on, and the blue sun tent next to it complements it too. They contrast well with the tones of the rest of the image. It's maybe not the strongest image in the competition, but it certainly does evoke summer. Brush strokes of summer. Another lovely soft barley shot. Here the barley is not so ripe, it's still green, and I think that makes for a soothing image. I like the gradation of the tones, gradually getting darker the further you go back into the image. There always has to be a poppy somewhere in a field for contrast, and this shot has that too. Though it's lovely to see the poppies, it can be an issue sometimes, as red always stands out in digital photos. This one stands out so much on my screen that to me it almost looks like it really wasn't there and been put in afterwards. It really does stand out a lot and dominate the image. Lovely picture, even so. Butterfly and blackberry blossom. What a beautiful study of a butterfly on blackberry flowers. I'm useless when it comes to identifying butterflies, so please don't expect me to know what kind it is. It's a truly lovely image. The insect is very well taken, the blossom well handled, and the background being so dark and diffused enhances the subject. I really like the key line as well. It does finish it off to me. Okay, I could be very nitpicky and say that the two petals on the right edge of the image are slightly distracting as they're not in focus, but that really is a bit unfair. It's a great shot. Children of Komodo Island. I associate Komodo with very large and dangerous reptiles, so it's really nice to see a lot of colourful children in this shot. This is a good piece of travel reportage. The children look like they've all lined up to pose for you. Several of them are waving. It's a very happy picture and I'm enjoying looking at the kids and their smiling faces. For me, it's maybe a bit busy. There's a lot to take in and I'm finding my eye wandering around the image without being able to rest anywhere. Also trying to work out if the image is a bit on the wonk. I don't really think it is, but there's something about it that makes me feel that it is. It's probably down to the slanting planks on the jetty. As I said, I'm enjoying the image, but it's maybe not as indicative of essence of summer to me as some of the other entries. Crabbing at Brightlingsea. This certainly is a very English summer pastime. Go to any resort and you'll find families doing this, and it's always great to see. You've caught them well, and they're very engrossed in their crabbing. It is a very contrasty image. The foreground breakwater is very dark, though you have just managed to retain the detail in it. My eye is drawn to the very bright sail on the boat just above the head of the group, and I'm finding that a distraction. I'm not sure the boat is adding anything to the photo at all. I might perhaps try to crop the photo so we can hone in on the people, as that's where the interest is in the picture. The whole background is just a little distracting for me. Certainly is capturing the essence of summer though. Cricket in a pandemic. Cricket is another extremely English part of summer, and though I normally imagine guys dressed in white, I have to confess I know nothing about the game. This is a strong image in terms of capturing the essence of cricket. The batsman, the wicket keeper, the wicket and the ball, all sharp and very well exposed. I don't mind that we're only seeing them from the back. After all, it's the story about the game rather than the players, I feel. Okay, the legs and feet at the top are drawing my eye a bit. Nothing to be done about it. They were there. The title alludes to pandemic, but the crowd doesn't look like they're socially distancing to me. A very competent shot. Dreaming of yesterday. This is a striking image and screams summer at me. I love the colours in it. The reds, yellows and pinks contrast with the really beautiful blue of the pool. The crop is perfect too. The bather is in exactly the right place in the image and her shadow is completing the composition. Okay, there are a few burnt out bits in the water, but it is bright sunlight and they're not bothering me. You can't expect anything else in a shot like this. I think you've captured the thing really well here. Well done. Essence of sunflower. It certainly is. This is another really striking image, full of colour and pattern. I always enjoy art style photos and this one is no exception. I love the poster effect and the strong colours in the flower. I do find the background a little overpowering, especially the white at the top of the image, which is fighting for the flower a bit. I would have preferred the background just a little bit more muted, though the actual patterns are fine. I congratulate you, however, on an original take on the theme and the actual flower, which I do love. Iced Rose, a cooling summer image here. This is a lovely photo. I love the fact that the image only has two tones. The bright orange is beautifully offset by the soft icy blue. It's very much a pattern picture to me and it really works. It's all about the shapes of the rose petals against the pattern of the ice. I'm guessing you used distilled water for this, looking at the air trails in the ice. If I have one, and it is very tiny criticism, is that it's very tightly cropped top and bottom. Probably not possible, but I would like to have seen just a little more space around it. Having done some of this, I realise you don't always have the option. I take nothing away from it though, it's the lovely image. Into the blue. We certainly are looking into the blue here, cooling in a very different way from the last image. I love the colours in the image. Even the one red rope works really well. I'd love to be wherever this was taken. It looks stunning. The mast, if that's what it is very prominent, but it's not too intrusive and it's in the right place in the photo. Would I have liked some cloud in the sky? A bit of me is saying yes, but in a way it might have taken away from the blue, which to me is what the image is all about. A very nice image. Not Bournemouth. Definitely nowhere near crowded enough. Excellent composition here. We have the magic three people positioned well in the frame and the three yachts in the background as well. The background is handled really well. I like the slightly misty looking effect at the top. It somehow finishes off the image for me. I wondered whether a different parasol colour might have worked better, and then decided it wouldn't. Some judges might pull it up for being pretty much cut in half between the beach and the sea, but actually that doesn't worry me. A very good summer beach scene. On the beach, Haybridge, a nice little family group court here. I like that the nets are the same colour as the girls' shorts. It makes the colours in the whole image work somehow. The little boy, well, I'm assuming he's the little boy, the one in blue that is, appears to be slightly apprehensive by the way he's holding his shoulders. I like the soft tones used here. It makes the water look inviting. Maybe I would have liked to see separation of the girl's net in the boy's head though. A very pleasing image nonetheless. Poppies. More poppies and barley here. This one is more the standard poppies and gold barley. I had a little bit of glamour glow applied to it, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that works for the image. The colours and the glow complement each other. Perhaps the bright grasses in the foreground could have been taken out as they're quite strong and do take the eye a bit. Good image though. Rangirawa Atoll Lagoon. This wasn't taken down during the lockdown in the UK for sure. This image definitely looks like something that belongs in a travel brochure. Everything about it invites you in and makes you want to be there. Well, okay, the girl doesn't as far as I'm concerned, but I'm sure the guys will disagree. I really do just want to drive into that water. It looks so inviting. All the colours work and the composition is perfect. There are a couple of bright things, not quite sure what they are, hanging off the two leftmost huts, and they're a tiny bit distracting, but it's a very, very minor nitpick. It's a lovely image, and it really is all about dreaming of summer. Rose and bee. Wow, this is a very brightly coloured rose. On my screen, it's almost day glow. It's an excellent shot of the bee and the rose. The bee looks pretty sharp to me, and that's no mean feat. The background is a very intense green, which I wouldn't normally like, but actually here it works as it contrasts well with the equally intense magenta tones of the rose. In light, green and magenta are complementary colours, so it works well. I find it a little too bright to look at for too long, but that may be just due to the calibration of my screen. If that's the case, I apologise. It's still a very well taken image. Rose and rosé. Haha, my kind of rose, well, rosé. I admit I like drinking rosé in the spring and summer, almost never during the winter, and I don't really know why. I love this image, brilliantly imaginative and fantastically well worked, even down to the grapes being poured out of the bottle. Turning the rose into a glass was simply brilliant. You've also done really well at keeping the stem and the base of the glass looking like they're petals. The background is great too. Burgundy understated roses, fantastic. Perhaps the base of the glass sticks out just a bit. Maybe darkening it down just a little bit would amend that. Also, the light is quite bright on the bottle, but it doesn't bother me much. However, they're ridiculous criticisms on such a fantastic and original image. I'd love to have your imagination. Well done. Rose Goujat. Our second frozen rose, and quite a different feel to this one. There's less an artistic feel to this one, though it's a good study of a frozen rose. The detail in the flower is very good, and the air in the ice is well captured. Again, I'm thinking still water. This one is very tightly cropped too, though as it's cropped all the way around, it does feel more deliberately done. I like the fact that it's all shades of magenta and white. Scented summer roses. More artistic roses here. An almost pointillist effect here, and it works well. A lovely bowl full of roses and a sympathetically coloured background and table. I do have a couple of minor comments. The reflections in the brass bowl, not glass, if indeed it is brass, are slightly pulling my eye away from the subject. While I don't need detail in the flowers, that's not the point of the image, some of the highlights in the flowers are very strong, burnt out in a few areas, and are too bright for me personally. It's a great idea and the effect really does work. Socially distanced day out. Another not crowded Bournemouth type scene. A nice little family group largely hidden under the parasol. Technically it's fine and you've handled the bright conditions quite well. The bag in the foreground is a bit burnt out, however. I don't mind the guy has his back to me, but I am a bit perturbed by the fact that I'm really only getting a view of the lady's legs under the parasol. Okay, her head is poking out the top a bit, but it does look a bit weird to me. Good to see that the groups are keeping a good distance. Summer in Lavenham. Ice creams and mobile phones, the definition of a summer day in the 21st century, and more phones than ice cream. It's a nice piece of street photography, lots of interest and not too busy. The two eating the ice cream don't actually look that happy about it to me, they look a bit glum. It's well captured and well exposed. I don't mind the poster. Judges do tend not to like words in an image, but I think if it's part of the story, it's fine, and here it is. It doesn't hold my attention for quite as long as some of the other images in the round, but it's still a good shot. Summer in Sagres. Really love the composition here. You've placed the subject in exactly the right place, and the fact that the chairs and table are red contrasts perfectly with the rest of the image. The reflection is also a very important part of the picture, just adding that little bit more colour. I do actually love the fact that they're playing cards in the sea. They do look so completely relaxed about it. I know that Sagres is in Portugal, but there's something about this image that makes me think of Montalbano in Sicily. Okay, the hair is a bit under, there's no detail in it, but it's such strong sunlight it's hardly surprising. The background is good, interesting, but not fighting the main subject. A very strong shot, well done. Sunny after a light shower. I really love this flower portrait. The flower is strong and the depth of focus is well handled. I think the front petal may be going out just a bit, but it isn't much and it doesn't bother me. The background is well diffused and not at all intrusive. I do love the way you've handled it. For me, the border, the key line and the petal overlapping it are the elements that really make this image. It gives the whole thing a great 3D effect. Lovely, lovely picture. The Adnams effect. This one really made me laugh. Perfect title for a shot of Southwold. I'm assuming it's taken from the pier. This is a great image, colourful and sunny and a lot of fun. It's very saturated and I think that's what works. The colours don't actually fight each other at all. I do love the boozy wave effect. It's been done really well. Something different and very enjoyable. Vanilla. Always vanilla. No summer would be complete without ice cream, and yes, it is definitely vanilla. The little lad doesn't look too sure about it. His eyes do look a bit pensive, or maybe he's just not sure about you taking his photo. It's a nice portrait. I actually quite like the fact that we can't see his mouth for the ice cream. To me, that's all part of the story. I like the colours. The main red in the background does help contrast the blue of his top. The white bits of the background, however, are a bit of a distraction for me. They're quite bright, especially behind his ear. Maybe that could be taken down a little. A good image to end on. Right, now we come to the shortlist. Yet again, it was very difficult for me to come up with a shortlist from this strong entry. After much deliberation, I only managed to get it down to 8 on my shortlist. And they are Butterfly and Blackberry Blossom, a lovely insect shot, perfectly taken. Dreaming of Yesterday, a very different kind of pool shot. The Essence of Sunflower is just so original an artistic image. Iced Rose, love the colour and the patterns. Rangirawa Atoll Lagoon, it looks like a professional travel brochure shot to me. Rose and Rosé, completely original and cleverly put together. Summer in Sagres, just really enjoyed the story of this one. The Adnams effect, a really different view of Southwold. And then there were 3. After further difficulty mulling it down, I got down to iced rose. I think this frozen flower is just lovely, and the contrast of the orange and the blue tones works really well. Rangirawa Atoll Lagoon. It really is an image that makes you want to be there. Rose and rosé, just so completely different and brilliantly handled. The winner. And the winner this week is Rose and Rosé. This image took a lot of thought, imagination, and preparation. It's been fantastically well executed and is such a great interpretation of the theme. It definitely is the essence of summer. So well done to Lorraine for winning this week's chocolate. And there we have it, folks.
So congratulations to Lorraine Green on winning round 2, and thanks to Jill as always for her judging and her comments.